My salary for the last 40 years. I'm very, very grateful. Anybody seen episode 7 yet? You wait.
Good morning, Athletes. So, let's start out. What can you tell us about episode 7?
How much money have you got in your pocket?
Not that much.
You have money. By the way, when Grant was doing that wonderful introduction to that video, and he was talking about
Kill the Flash.
An iconic character that you would wish to see, to remember forever, I heard a voice as one crying in the wilderness, and the voice said, Han Solo! Stand up, the man. Who was it? Who was it? Can I come up here? You're laughing. Why are you laughing? Does he have a great sense of humor? So why would you prefer Han Solo, an ordinary human being, to the most magnificent gold droid ever? Why would you prefer that?
Because he doesn't follow the odds, he's a badass, he likes shooting things, he shot first and...
What is your name?
Derek?
Derek, go sit down. Security watch.
Yeah. We'll have him shot, don't worry.
And we will shoot first. I mean, seriously, house lights up. I'm going to ask you a question. Who in this room gives a damn who shot who first? Hands up. You do. You really do. Okay, that's pathetic. You realize I don't remember. I got Reno his job. We did a TV show together, and I can't even see he's never said thank you. Because he's dead now, so he can't. No, it's a movie. Don't worry about it.
Let's talk a little bit about Star Wars, because that's what everybody's here to talk about. Let's talk about the oil bath. Was it something you could thank the maker for?
Oh, the oil bath. You remember the scene? We're in a garage on Tatooine. Actually, we weren't. I have a question here. How many of you think Tatooine is a real place? Okay, it is, totally. I don't want to destroy anything. So there we are in, frankly, a soundstage in the studio in North London, Elstree. And yes, what? There's always a smart ass. Yo, come here. Okay. we're not bringing you up on stage, honey, because we couldn't afford either side, okay? But I'm going to humiliate you from here. Ready for this? The ritual humiliation of a smart ass. Right. Why did you say Pinewood?
Because that's where it was filmed.
The oil bath scene was filmed in Pinewood.
I would assume so.
Were you in the scene? Was that you in the oil bath?
No.
What is your name?
Diana.
Diana? Oh, I'm in deep doo-doo here. What's your name? Diana, go and sit down. Wait. The oil bath scene happened at Elstree Studio North London, not Pinewood, which is to the southwest of London, where we have currently or recently shot episode 7. It's a real buzzword, isn't it? Episode 7. We were there at Elstree. So they put me on, I'm wearing the whole suit, and they put me on a sort of platform that went down. I think it was just a hydraulic lift that went down into this green vegetable oil. Yeah. I mean, some people pee for this kind of thing, but they did know it. I think it was March and it was cold. And I'm there wearing this tin can and a, whatever's underneath, a lot. And as we went down, now we'd had some problems with special effects, particularly with explosions and things. But here am I trusting my life to being possibly reenacting a scene from Titanic or something, because I go underwater. But it didn't happen, and I went down very serenely. And it was kind of odd, because I could feel the liquid coming up my ankles, the space between my skin and the costume. And as I got lower, of course, it reached my knees. And then as the scene progressed, the oil, as I dropped down, the oil came up higher, higher. And if you watch very carefully, there's a moment when I'm talking to Luke Skywalker where I sort of pause and go, But what really... This is why they hate me at Disney, because I say bad stuff. And let's face it, we only ever want to hear the bad stuff.
Of course.
Yes. One of the things that happened was that and there is a very rude trading card, which I never signed, because I think it's slightly discourteous, but it shows 3PO in a state of, as we would call it at Disney, excitement, for want of a better word. Work it out. And what had happened was, that card was actually created by a malfunctioning operative in the card company who had been let go. So he thought he'd make a joke. And he took a picture of 3PO, and what had happened was this leg, the sticky tape that was holding the whole costume together, totally unsticked by the oil, and sort of dropped down, so you had this strange piece of plastic here, which he merely amplified. But one of the things you must notice, end of story. One of the things you must notice is that when I'm in the oil bath and Luke Skywalker is walking up and down, I was so into the oil bath thing and so confused with the peripheral vision that I'm talking to him over here, and he then says something and you see me go, because I hadn't noticed, he actually walked over here. Oh, and I will tell, no, since we're on this scene and it's not Disney, there is also, absolutely Mark Hamill was in hysterics, because if you look at the scene where he gives me a towel, that's right, he's got his aunt's calling him. Can't believe I've started this.
Have to finish now. There's no going back. Children.
If you look at it, Mark gives me a cloth, and as he's talking, I'm absent-mindedly drying myself. I swear I didn't know what I was doing, I couldn't feel it, but I'm gently polishing myself, shall we say. End is not right there,
Don't worry, only the entire internet saw that. All right, So you mentioned having difficulty seeing peripherally. What are some of the other issues with wearing the suit? It doesn't seem like it would be an easy suit to wear.
You name it. I will tell you for the... Can I tell you this? For the first time in this... I had a minor tantrum halfway through one of the films, and I began to cut the hands off so I could actually bend them. Because in the early days, the only way you could get them on was to heat them up under the plastic under a big hot lamp, and it softened the plastic and you put it on, and then I would try and crunch it into a position that made sense. And one day, of course, they did by accident, I'm assured, leave the hand under the light for rather longer than necessary. And they put it on, and really it was like the curse of the red hot hand. I couldn't get it up. But at another point, I did actually take a scalpel and carve bits off, so I could actually bend it. I'm about to get into an episode 7 moment, and I don't think I should. For the first time, I will tell you, in episode 7, I picked up something this big. Now some of you, the ones who are conscious, and have more than one synapse or brain cell, anyway, will remember a time I picked something up. What did I pick up? Something very small. What? The comlink. Very good, sir. Very good mime of the comlink there. I liked it. Watch that scene, because will you stop pointing bright lights at me? Otherwise I'm going to have you destroyed. I know what I remember last time. Last time I was here, which was only about a month ago, at the EMP Museum, there were so many people I couldn't hug them all. They wanted a hug, obviously. Anybody here want a hug? I was thinking mostly of the ladies. Maybe later. Maybe. The force awakens. I will now stand over here. Okay. There's a sign here that says "Do not cross." It says "Do not cross me." Come on. That is.
One way, yes.
I was here and I suddenly invented the force hug. Force, did you know about the force hug? I'm now going to... Actually, what sort of, I have got a gesture, I did this on Twitter. What would a force hug gesture look like? I'm going to demonstrate, okay, Grant, would you stand there?
Yes.
I'm now going to demonstrate the force push. You ready, Grant?
I'm ready.
This has never been tried on stage before. Force hug. Are you ready for this?
I think.
Okay, what sort of gesture would be, if that's a push? What would a gesture, give me a gesture for force hug. Is that not more like a gorilla on heat? give me a gesture, come on. Oh. Just come here.
We have a winner.
Quickly, give me another one. Who's got another gesture? Yeah. Yeah. What's your? What? How do you wait? Just come up in here. Let me do it. What's your name? Ori, just come here. Because I'm not sure this is going to be, but I kind of like it. Okay, stand, Grant, please.
Yes.
See if this has any effect on Grant.
I think she needs to try it again.
I'm going to stand a bit further away because it looks a bit violent to me.
It was vigorous.
It's working with amateurs, you see, a professional. Just stay there till you're told to leave. Give you a chance, you know. If this was an audition, anyway. Okay, I'm ready. And It aroused in me... No, we've done that, sorry. It invoked in me feelings not so much as hugging. Just do it again. Have you run out of hug? You see, yeah, okay, the thing about hugging, it's got to be infinite. You've got to go on doing it forever. Corey, thank you very much for that. Big hand for Corey. I'm going to, I just see, because this is a bit hugging one person, Corey, just listen. I know you've had your 5 minutes of fame, but I'm still talking here. I think a hug, and I want you to see if you can feel something. Are you ready for a Zen moment? Are you ready for a Zen moment? Good. I'm going to concentrate, or you concentrate. You were an inspiration as always. We were talking about how I picked things up. If you remember the scene, there's a conning sort of jabbering away, and there was but it was a very small thing. And how we shot it, because 3PO's hands were like these terrible clubs that I would sort of, I would look at a bottle, for instance, and with my peripheral non-vision, I would go like that. It meant that we had to reshoot everything over and over again. So for this, what we did was, because the magic thing about film is the camera only shows you what it wants to see. What you don't see probably is ever the crew or the special effects, the bits of string. In this case, it was sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape attached to the palm of my hand. I am wearing jeans and a shirt and one arm and one hand, and I'm standing out of frame, and the camera is there, ignoring me apart from my hand. And I came in on action, and I slapped the thing, and pushed down a bit, and miraculously came up, and there you had me holding it. And when you weave the whole thing together, it looks like I was actually picking something up. But now through the magic of recreation, I can actually pick things up. Terrific.
How is it working with JJ as a director compared to, say, other directors?
We don't make comparisons. Comparisons are...
How is it working with JJ?
JJ Abrams was 11 years old when he first saw the original Star Wars, and I think it was maybe in the back of his mind to always be involved. And there was an interesting... Actors' stories always start with a phone call. Have you noticed that? Well, mine started many, many years ago, as you will know, with an invitation to meet George Lucas, and that led, etc. And there I am in France, expecting a call from somebody in America, and the phone rings, and somebody says, "Hi, I'm Tony," and I say, "Yeah." And I carry on this conversation, and after about 20 seconds, I said, who did you say you are? And she said, "My name's Kathy Kennedy, I'm the producer of the new Star Wars." I mean, I could have lost the job. And she said, "Would it be okay if J.J. Abrams called you?" I had to think about it. What do you think? What would you have said? He's a joy. J.J. is utterly collaborative. He's interested in what you have to say. He is interested in what he has to say. You show him something and say, "Well, okay, we'll try it. It doesn't work, we'll go back the other way." Okay. Do you know what we have in episode 7? What do we have? What? Shut up. Stormtroopers, lightsabers, Millennium Falcon, C-3PO. We have scenery. No more of the green screen. No more of the expanses of blue. Blue used to be my favorite color. The use of green screen, where necessary, yes. If you're only coming out of a doorway of some great temple or something, you don't have to build a whole temple in the studio, but you do need to build a doorway for it. And having the reality of a set gives reality to the performance, I think, of the actors, because you've got something to react to. You know, one time, as you do, I was flying a spacecraft with Padme Amidala. Name dropping. Sort of. And there we were. We both had identical spacey type airplane chairs, and we both had spacey type control things. What do you call those?
The joystick.
Good. We've not rehearsed this, have we?
No, not at all.
Because we should have done, shouldn't we? Anyway, so we both had a joystick each, a chair, a joystick, some sandbags to hold down the joystick, and that was it. You can see the film. It's what is it called? Episode 2, I think. One of them. And I'm doing flying, and we were in this really quite sexy, I think, silvery spaceship thing, and there was nothing there. We're on a chair, we have a joystick, a sandbag, acres of space around us with green walls. And when you see the finished product, wow, you totally believe it. But on the day, it's not so interesting.
Is it tough playing a character, emoting, a character that has no lips, no eyebrows, no eyes to look into?
It's a good question. When I was at drama school, we did a lot of mime work with totally blank faces, and I guess you get to work with what you have, so that you have your speed of travel, you have your speed of reaction, you look, but you can get away with fairly nuanced things, just a little moment. But if I wanted to say, look over there and see something happening, I actually had to position my shoulders there first, because I only had like 30 degrees of travel. So already I'm at 30 degrees this end, and I could look there. But that meant rehearsing everything. But what you do get is, with an amazing mask created by Liz Moore, the sculptor, you have something so beautiful that in repose it's very beautiful, but also magically you can put a character on. And one of the things, if you come to the EMP studio, museum up the road, you will see one of my real costumes. One of the things you won't realize is the head is asymmetric. It's not actually a complete copy of either side. It is with, like a human face, kind of different sides. And this lends a kind of humanity to him. But one of my proudest moments actually is pathetic, really, is when Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi, has just been cut in half or disappeared or whatever. And we're on the Millennium Falcon, and 3PO looks sitting there on the seat, he looks so depressed. It's really sad. But a lot of emotions also come from reflection from other actors, It's like when you play the king, you don't have to always wear a crown, it's how people treat you. And I always think that one of the reasons we believed in 3PO was that Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. Treated 3PO with great respect, treated him with reality, and you copied from that.
What would R2 say? You think?
R2, what a pain in the R2 is just a menace. R2, what are you doing here? Come, do you want to say hello to the audience, R2? Do you? Actually, what he said was he recognized that I, Anthony Daniels, am the star. That's what you really meant to say, isn't it, Arthur? Yeah? You should have gone before you came out on stage. When we're actually filming, this is amazing. Arthur, that you've flown all the way from somewhere to be here today. Because in the prequels, you know, Arthur often wasn't there. He wasn't there. Often George would say, I'm here working on you, talking to R2. We'll put him in later. So I would be walking along a blue floor and a blue wall, and at one point I grabbed a vacuum cleaner, one of those don't things, as a rehearsal. I'm talking to it. I think it would be witty to leave it in the film, but that would have been very cruel. What was it like working with a superstar, Artu? What was it like working with a superstar like me? That is so sweet of you, Artu. Because I got very fond of you, you know. We went through so many adventures together. One of the worst was when you asked me to go in the escape pod. It comes back to me. Do you remember getting in the escape pod? And do you remember that on the beginning? And I said, I'm not getting in there. Is that what I said?
Yes.
And then, don't you call me a mindless philosophy whether we love a grief. I'm not going. Well, has anybody seen the movie? Oh, you can't give it the light, aren't you? Nobody understands a word you say. I understand that. Except, nobody understood at the beginning of Star Wars, did you notice? Nobody understood him. Now, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, everybody understands you, R2. And you can fly. he likes life. And you can do stairs and everything. It's totally magic. When I did get into the escape, where's the camera? Yeah, I think you're the camera. And I go in, and they raise the door. Artu had already bottled it. And then I bent over, going to break this, and down comes the door. No, I got in, it was fine. But what did happen, I am now, stay where you are, Artu. Stay where you are. What happened was that, being like this, the diaphragm of the costume absolutely was cutting into my diaphragm, so I couldn't actually breathe. So it was like, I'm going to regret this. Comes the door, and they're still rolling. And cut. It was, I could have died. Why are you laughing? Arthur, you would have been sad if I died. Arthur, you're shaking your head. What are you doing? So the difficulty for me was creating a believable relationship with something that sometimes wasn't there. Or indeed, there was another one over here. It's easier to have two in the shot. If the camera didn't see two, you didn't see two. Now, of course, I go to the R2-D2's Builders Club. Fantastic.
Awesome.
I wish there were 1,000. So I did get fond, and as you see, sometimes I do get to lean on him and all that kind of thing. It's a nice buddy relationship, isn't it? Yes. And he's come on a long way from... I will tell you something about episode 7. It's a very small bit. But I was, there's no, you know R2's in the film. But I was on the set, and I kind of went, and there was a wire here. And I said, what's that for? And they said, R2's got to wobble in the shot. Sorry, I'm sorry I'm giving your secrets away. Yeah, R2, you're wobbling on your own today. It's really good. But sometimes having a... You always wobble on your own? Yeah, okay.